Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to see the application of Fourier's law for an infinite long hollow cylinder. Here let us consider a hollow cylinder of a dimension R1 to be as an inner radius and R2 to be as an outer radius. We are going to consider the surface 1 inner to be as a surface 1 and outer to be as a surface 2. Surface 1 and surface 2. Then we are going to consider the T1 to be as a inner temperature and T2 to be as an outer temperature, where K as a thermal conductivity of the tube material or cylinder material, which is uniform. So K is constant, and also we are going to consider T1 greater than T2. So the heat flow is going to have from inner to outer. Now the question arises, why we are learning this? As we all know, most of the mechanical engineering problems are having some of the fluid flowing through the hollow cylinder, hollow tubes. So hollow tubes are nothing but your hollow cylinder, are considered to be a hollow cylinder. An example of a steam flowing through tubes. So steam is flowing through inside. It has higher temperature and the heat is going to dissipate towards radially outside. Okay? Second example, the refrigerant, again it goes on flowing through the tube and the heat is going to transfer to the outer to inner or inner to the outer, depend upon the temperature of the refrigerant. Third example, in a heat exchanger as well, the water flows through the tube which is having some kind of a temperature, some sort of a temperature more than the ambient temperature. So if we list down this application, it has a wide scope, that is infinite long cylinder. That's why we are going to learn a heat transfer rate through infinite long cylinder. Okay? So let us assume L be the length of an infinite tube. Here we are going to consider the heat is going to transfer radially outward. So instead of dx you are going to have dr. Okay? So using a Fourier's law, we have Q equal to minus Ka dt by dr. dt is the temperature gradient across, dt by dr is the temperature gradient across the radius. Okay? So if you are going to consider an elemental strip, at a radius r, it has the temperature gradient of dt. At a radius, suppose you can say dr. So the temperature gradient across this will be dt by dr. So Q equal to minus Ka dt by dr. Okay? So let us check what will be the boundary condition. So first boundary condition, at R equal to R1, what is the temperature values? T equal to T1. Second boundary condition, at R equal to R2, T equal to T2. Rewriting the first equation, you have Q upon A dr equal to minus K dt. Now we have to apply an integration using the boundary condition. So applying integration, we have integration from left hand side you have dr, so integration from r1 to r2 q upon a dr, and right hand side you have dt, so integration from t1 to t2 minus k dt. Now here what are to be constant, what parameters are to be constant? Q will be constant, as heat flow is steady flow, steady heat flow, and no heat generation, takes place. Then K, we are assumed here a constant, that is K in x direction, K in y direction, and K in z direction remain constant. Thermal conductivity of the material remains constant. Further, we are going to have A. Now what will be the A in this case? Now let's go back to our figure. So A will be area perpendicular to the heat flow. So heat Q, that is small q equal to capital Q, Q is going to flow radially outward from all the direction. Okay? It is going to flow radially outward from inner to outer, as T1 is greater than T2. So your area will become 2 pi r into L. Now, what do you mean by 2 pi r? It is the circumference of the circle. And L be the length of hollow cylinder. You can check out 2 pi r will be the circumference and L be the length of a hollow cylinder. So you can have 2 pi r, okay? It is the circumference, 2 pi r is the circumference, and across its length, so for a length of L. So that's why the area we have considered here is radially outward area, that is perpendicular area to the heat flow. It is 2 pi r into L. Okay? So the area is not going to remain constant because r is not going to remain constant. Okay? As Q is going to proceed, the radius is going to change. Okay? R1 will become R2. Okay? And in between you have infinite radii. Okay? So you're going to have R1, then R2, then R3, then R4 up to R2, then up to the outer area. So R is going to change when the heat is going to flow. Okay? So that's why we have considered A equal to 2 pi R into L. Okay? So let us see how we are going to substitute this value in the integration equation and taking out the constant value outside, what relation we are going to get. So I will rewrite the equation for you. Integration from R1 to R2 Q by A dr equal to integration from T1 to T2 minus K dt. So taking out the constant, Q constant, and instead of area will be equal to 2 pi R into L. So you are going to have R1 R2 1 upon 2 pi R into L dr. T1 to T2 minus K dt. So taking out again the constant 2 pi L. So we have considered L to be as a limited length for a hollow cylinder. So we are going to take out 2 pi L outside. So you are going to have Q upon 2 pi L. In integration you have R1 to R2 1 upon R dr equal to minus K outside T1 to T2 and dt. Okay? So integrating you are going to have Q upon 2 pi L ln of r, r1 to r2, and right hand side you are going to have t, t1 to t2. Now substituting the value, you are going to have q upon 2 pi l ln of r2 minus ln of r1 equal to minus k t2 minus t1. But t1 is greater than t2, therefore either you take negative sign outside or you just shift this negative side inside. So you have k into t1 minus t2 on the right hand side. On the left hand side you have q upon 2 pi l ln of r2 minus ln of r1. So you are going to have q equal to 2 pi l k t1 minus t2 divided by ln of r2 minus ln of r1. So from the property of logarithm we have q equal to 2 pi lk t1 minus t2 divided by ln of r2 by r1. So this is the equation for the heat flow rate in an infinite hollow cylinder. Okay? Heat flow rate in an infinite hollow cylinder. Its unit is watt. Now, if someone asks you to find out the value of temperature at r radius, so how you are going to find the value of temperature at r radius? So in continuation with this, you have first of all q equal to 2 pi lk t1 minus t2. I am rewriting this is same equation ln of r2 by r1. So you are going to equate it with 2 pi lk t1 minus tr divided by ln of r divided by r1. So inner radius will remain same. The outer radius is going to change to capital R. So from this you just cancel out the common term. So you are going to have t1 minus t2 upon ln of r2 by r1 equal to t1 minus tr divided by ln of r upon r1. Okay? So in this case you can find the known temperature at r distance, r radius, capital R radius, or you can find, if you know the temperature, you can find the radius.